Hello world, hello world. Yes, I just heard AOC Cortez's speech a few days ago, whereby she's representing Mayor runner-up Mamdani. And AOC's speech again is always quite interesting to me when she gets rah rah when it's to talk about illegal immigrants. However, the fact that she's stating again, and as we already know, she's clearly a socialist who's clearly in support of illegal immigrants. The fact that she's trying to act like, again, well, speaking on black platforms, as if she's, again, for foundational black America is quite comical. She pretends to be in the fight for affordable housing, free buses, and so forth and so forth. And she gets riled up and says this. Just take a listen, comment, like, let me know your thoughts. Is she truly in support of Foundation of Black America, or is she clearly in support of illegal immigrants? Bye, world.
Because Queens, it has always been in our nation's darkest chapters that our brightest lights emerge. And we, each and every one of us, whether we like it or not, are living history today. From our nation's beginning, American democracy has always reflected the struggle between humanity's highest and lowest natures, between subjects and citizens, the Confederacy and the Union, freedom and bondage, labor and capital rights and regimes. And it is no different today. The struggle of our time today is the single most unjust concentration of wealth in the hands of the very few, unseen in our nation's history and the world's history. And it is a time such as this, in which demanding what should be considered the most basic tenets of human dignity, that is considered a radical and outlandish act. It is a time such as today when demanding affordable housing is considered a radical and outlandish act, that we can afford our lives, our groceries, our transit is considered an outlandish and radical act, that we accept our neighbor as ourselves, a radical and outlandish act. But we must remember, in a time such as this, we are not the crazy ones, New York City. We are not the outlandish ones, New York City. They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane. To demand an affordable and decent housing, a decent wage, the right to health care, that we pay to care for our people instead of the flattening of Palestinians and oppressed people abroad is not a radical act. It is basic and core humanity. That is why the election of Zohran is as important as our cause today. Childcare, buses, rent, and our rights. Here in New York City, it is the jewel and the center of all that is possible in America. And on November 4th, we will prove that today. We will prove it to the world, and we will prove it to the nation.
About reparations in your campaign, what it means to you.
This is a shame on our nation that we were founded on the institution of slavery, and that institution perpetuates itself through all of our social institutions right now. I'm all ears to hear how we ensure that everyone who is a victim of the living legacy of the institution of slavery. You know, it was lynchings, it was Jim Crow, it was redlining, it was mass incarceration, it was the war on drugs, it is the school to prison pipeline. You know, it is the health disparities. It's the fact that if you are a child and you're black, you have a 500% increased risk of dying from asthma. Or if you are a Black woman, you have a greatly increased risk of severe illness and death in pregnancy or after pregnancy. These are terrible injustices, and whether or not you are descended from enslaved families, everybody deserves to be made right and to be made whole. The value of that labor alone has been calculated to be about $13 trillion. We need to make all of the victims whole, again, because injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And societies that are steeply unequal are not good for anyone.
Can you talk about reparations?